heart has a cardiac output of 6,000 liters per minute and a stroke volume of 60. What is the heart rate? In other words, I can give you what? Any combination. She figured it out, right? I can give you any two of the three, and you can figure the third, correct? Here's something that I'm really going to memorize. We're going to move on. We're going to keep doing this. So I'm going to erase this. Here's what we're going to do. When I told you this is important, boy did I mean important. Here we go. What determines cardiac output? What determines heart rate? Or what determines stroke volume? So let's do stroke volume first. Stroke. For the average person sitting here, your stroke volume is about 70 milliliters of blood. You with it? That's what? Ejected from the heart with each beat. So now, things get really interesting. Stroke volume equals EDV minus the S rate. What is EDV? And diastolic volume. And this is, and I'll get out of the way. DS, please. Systolic. Stroke volume is EDV minus ESV. So now you want to know, because you didn't read the book, and that's very bad and you'll be lost. What is EDV? It's the amount of blood in the left ventricle just before you start to what? Shoot it out. Look what the ventricle's doing. Look. It had just contracted. What is it doing now? Filling with blood. Remember that's diastole? Huh? So I'm going to ask you the question, how much blood is in here before it what? That's where it's about. And that's your end diastolic volume. And EDV is dependent upon two things. Two factors for EDV. One, length of time. Of diastole. Let me do it for you. You all watch? This is your left ventricle. Look what I just did. I just ejected the blood. Now it's what? What is it doing? Refilling, right? Then I squirt it out. Ready? Refilling. Out. What? I'm going to exaggerate. Ready? Shot it out, refilling. Is it filling with more blood? That makes sense? Isn't blood always coming back to the ventricle? So the longer the time, what? More blood coming back. The more blood that comes back, when I go to contract, I will what? Shoot out more blood. Ask your kid that. Takes a balloon and what? Puts it under the faucet. His mommy says you can only keep it under the faucet for 2 seconds. So what? The balloon fills for 2 seconds with some water, and then he what? Squirts it. Then mommy says, okay, you can now hold the balloon open and fill it for 4 seconds. When he goes to squeeze it, will he squeeze out more water? Huh? Folks, kids understand this right away. When I tell it to them, they ask me the same question. Where's the balloon? They want to fill it up. What's the second factor? Big one. Big one. Venous return to the heart. do the little kid again. Because I like my little assistant. He goes, Mommy, can I fill up the balloon? She's all right, go ahead. And Mommy turns on the faucet. The little kid is holding his balloon, and he only has it for 2 seconds. Is he going to get a lot of water? No. Really? The what? The amount of water coming out of the faucet is what? Too low? Right? Then Mommy says, okay, go ahead, hold the balloon open under the faucet. She turns on the faucet, and the balloon will what? Fill with more blood. What is the faucet? It's how much blood is returning to the heart. Does that make sense? If you've got very little blood returning to the heart, then you're not going to have much in the ventricles, are you? And when they go to contract, you won't get a lot of what? Blood going out. Okay? This happens, by the way, when you go into circulatory shock, most often. When your blood system pools blood. We'll talk about it later. You're not returning enough blood. If you don't return enough blood, then the heart can't what? Pump enough blood. If you don't pump enough blood, you don't get enough to who? Brain, and you what? Oh, you pass out. Okay? Would you see patients passing out in the hospital? All the